I have not seen Diadora in a sneaker shop for maybe more than 10 years. Recently online I came across them and I had a look at their website, and I can't lie, I was quite impressed with some of the sneakers on there. So today's video we are going to be taking a look at the Diadora sneakers. I've got a real mixture of silhouettes to show you guys today. Before we delve into today's video, if you are new here, welcome to my channel. My name is Olivia and I have lots of sneaker content, so if you want to stay updated, don't forget to subscribe. First of all, we're starting off with one of my favorites, which is the Diadora Mythos Star. This comes in at £160, and as you can see, it's inspired by the 2000s. It's that chunky running shoe vibe. What attracted me most to this shoe was the colors. I got this in the colorway sky blue and I'm utterly obsessed. So we have this kind of light pastel blue, and then it's matched with this really nice kind of vibrant burnt orange. In terms of the upper, we do have quite a lot of detail going on. We have a mixture of leather, synthetic material and some textiles as well. You will notice on the side panel that this is the Diadora logo. This Diadora logo, I'd say, as I mentioned about 15 years ago, I feel like it wasn't very cool. Slowly I'm getting used to it and I actually really like it. It is very, very simple. In between the suede, we do have this textured mesh material. The main kind of purpose for this is for breathability when you are running. This is in a really nice kind of off-white cream color. Again, it's keeping in with those pastel vibes, which I'm really enjoying. If we move to the tongue, this tongue for me actually looks kind of luxury designer. We have this cotton material, and then on top we have this orange suede, which does have the Diadora logo on it. We do have the Diadora logo. This time we actually have the word Diadora stitched on. We do have a very chunky sole, so we have a rubber sole which is in this kind of off-white color, and then we have hints of the brown and also hints of the orange, which then feed into the bottom of the sole. In terms of comfortability, these were super comfortable. They are a running shoe, so theoretically they should be comfy. It was quite a tight fit when getting them in. They did feel really snug, so I would suggest maybe going up a 0.5 size or even possibly one whole size. However, they are running shoes, and personally for me, I like my running shoes to feel snug, and maybe they just need a little bit wearing in. This is very similar to some of the New Balance silhouettes. However, what I do think stands out for me is this upper. Perhaps if they didn't even have this sole and they had just a normal kind of trainer sole, then this would probably be the most perfect shoe for me. I just love how different this upper looks. These do come in at £160, which is kind of normal for this kind of trainer, this kind of chunky running shoe. In other brands, you would be paying something similar. But what I have found with most of Diadora sneakers that I have got here today is that if you don't buy them from Diadora and you look on some other websites, you can get them a lot cheaper as well. So that is something to bear in mind if you are interested in these. Also as well, they do come in quite a lot of different variations of colorways. So for whatever reason, if you're not a fan of this colorway, then there are many more to choose from. Next up, we have the Diadora B560. This is a completely different silhouette. This was designed as a tennis shoe. They reminded me of the Off-White Out of Office classic trainers and also the LV skate trainers, but at a much cheaper price. These come in at £210. I actually have the Off-White Out of Office here, and as you can see, they are very similar. The B560 is actually quite a kind of simple silhouette, and in terms of the design, there actually isn't that much going on. Here I feel like it's about the use of materials. There are a mixture of materials used on this. On the upper, we do have this leather. It feels really nice and soft. Also feels very good quality. We do have a perforated toe box, however the holes are really tiny. On the side panel for the Diadora logo, we actually have this in black suede. We do have a plain white tongue, and on the top of this we have a tongue label which has the Diadora logo, and it also does say tennis as well. If we swing towards the back, we do have the Diadora logo which has been stitched on, and then we have the year that these were made, which is 1990. Now, one key feature about these sneakers, and it kind of is in the name, they're called B560 and then used. They do look like they have been worn, and that is the look that they are giving off, kind of that vintage feel. So these have all been wax treated, which does give off this kind of used look, which is good for practicality because they will be more resistant to water. So over time as well, when you're kind of wearing them in, they're still gonna look good because that is how they're supposed to look worn. You know that color when you have a white sole and after many years, this is the color that it turns into, but this is what you're getting brand new. Now, funny thing is, obviously it's a brand new shoe. We have a fresh pair set of white pristine laces. I feel like they need to get a little bit dirtied up to kind of blend in with the rest of the shoe. I don't actually own any shoes of this kind of silhouette, but I do really like them. So when I tried them on, I was really pleasantly surprised on how they look. Sizing wise for these, I did go up in 0.5 size, so I got a 7.5 in these when my normal true size in other brands is usually a 7, and they fit absolutely perfectly. Again, I was quite surprised at how comfortable they were as well, but they do have an EVA midsole, which definitely contributes to that comfortability. Black and white pair, I feel like they're kind of similar to that kind of Air Force One vibe. You can pretty much wear them with absolutely anything. Again, they do quite a lot of color variations in these, so if you want to go for something bolder or maybe some color, there is that option too. But personally for me, I feel like the black and white is just a really neat, cool pair. One of the things I do have to say though is I feel like £210 is a little bit steep for these. I guess you are getting that kind of premium leather, but when you're comparing it to some of the other silhouettes that are based around 150, it's kind of more on the pricey side of things. Next up, we have another running shoe. However, this time we have a modern take on the running shoe. So here we have the Mythos Propulsion 280 M2 suede, which is a little bit of a mouthful. You can instantly tell that these are modern and a little bit more stylish as well. These come in at £155 and they're originally designed to honor an Italian marathon runner who won a gold medal. In terms of the silhouette and designs, it's a very light sneaker and definitely has that sporty, streamlined look. It's a very curved silhouette, and on the upper, again, we do have a mixture of materials. As it is a running shoe, on most silhouettes we do have this textured mesh which actually covers pretty much the whole of the upper. Around the toe box we do have some suede and synthetic material, which is definitely needed for support and durability. On the side panel we have the Diadora logo, however this time it is stretched out, so it kind of covers a majority of the side panel. This is actually placed on top of some suede, and you do have the rubber logo kind of printed on top. Interestingly, towards the back, reminds me a lot of the Asics shoes and the New Balance. We have the model number here, which is 280. We do have a mesh tongue, and then in addition to this, the usual graphic Diadora logo. We have a bit of design going on here as well on top of this leather badge on the tongue. I think a really cool part of this shoe is the sole is very unique. We have some grooves at the front and then some curved windows at the back, which you can actually see all the way through. You have a really good tread on the outsole, which is perfect for running. In terms of sizing, I went up a 0.5 size for these and they fit absolutely perfectly. You know, one thing about this kind of running lifestyle sneaker trend is that sometimes they all start to look the same, but what I do like about this Diadora, I feel like it does give a unique look. Next up we have the Diadora Tokyo. Now this is probably one of their cheapest shoes. At the moment these are on sale and they came in about £50, which is really cheap in general for a sneaker shoe. Now this kind of encompasses that low profile silhouette. It's kind of like the samba out of all the silhouettes. It's a very, very basic handball shoe, but sometimes, you know, basic is best, and these low profile silhouettes recently have been really on trend. For me, this is kind of like a retro sneaker. It's really, really bringing it back from the dead. In terms of materials as well, this is probably one of the shoes that has the most basic materials. On the upper, you have this suede, and then it's matched with this leather panels on top, which is the Diadora logo on the side panel. And then if you turn towards the back, we do actually have the Diadora logo on the heel tab. This I got in this beautiful color, which is pink. I'm really into my pinks at the moment, but they have so many different colorways. And again, this is a really good price point if you are looking for something basic. However, if you had to ask me whether I choose it over like the Adidas Sambas or the Mexico 66s or kind of pretty much any low profile silhouette, I'm not the hugest fan of this silhouette, mainly because of this boxy toe box at the front. In terms of the tongue, you have a simple suede tongue, but you do have the Diadora rubber logo stamped on top. For the sole, you have this brown gum sole. Again, very, very basic. I feel like maybe if they made the sole a different color, I would be a bit more vibey with it. I just don't really like this brown color against this kind of really nice pink. In terms of comfortability, I'd say that this is a pretty average shoe. So from reviewing and trying on all of the sneakers today, I can definitely say that Diadora definitely have that kind of attention to detail with all the different materials and all the different designs that go onto the upper of the majority of these sneakers. I do think that Diadora is possibly an underrated brand, and I feel like if you are looking for a new brand or some new designs, then definitely check them out. One thing I am a little bit hesitant about, but I don't know if it's because, you know, 10-15 years ago, Diadora was never like the premium brand. It wasn't even a huge brand back then. For me, I kind of looked at it as a kind of more of a cheaper brand, and now you're coming in at these prices that are pretty similar to a lot of other popular brands. I feel like I'm just taking a while to get my head around it. I haven't been keeping a close eye on them over the years, but what I can say from reviewing today's trainers is that the quality is really good, so I can kind of justify the prices. I think it's just maybe more about the kind of marketing and the reputation of Diadora. Please let me know in the comments below if you have any questions from today's video, and has anyone been buying from Diadora over these last kind of 10 years, and give me some ideas or opinions about their kind of quality and their history over the last 10 years, because as I said, I have never bought a pair of Diadora sneakers, so this is the first time that I'm picking them up, but the image that I have of Diadora has changed a lot in those 10 years, so I'd be interested to know if anyone has kind of been keeping up with them over the last decade. Thank you guys as always for tuning in for today's video. Thank you guys as always for tuning in for today's video. I always really appreciate the support, any likes, comments or subscriptions. I hope you guys have the most blessed week, and I'll see you guys in my next video.